The defense was bad. I am not going to be up here and going to say, like, you gave up 452 yards. Like, that is awful. You got 0 sacks. That is terrible. But at the same time, like, hold on just a second, because the yards are a big deal. And yes, the defense was bad. Missed tackles, no pressures, like whatever else. Not good. You gave up 22 points. The 49ers offense should be able to score 20 points. But they haven't in back-to-back games. They scored 17 against the Browns. They scored 17 against this team. And everybody could say, oh, well, the weather was bad. The Browns defense was just that good. We had the injuries. No, BS. Like, I'm sorry. The Minnesota's Vikings defense is not good. In fact, it's terrible. It's one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. And you only get 17 points? You scored 3 points in the fourth quarter? Like, I don't know. I feel like the defense did a damn good job late in the game. You shut them out in the fourth quarter. They got 0 points scored and gave your offense opportunity after opportunity to get down there. Now, there were long drives, and yeah, I get the yards. And again, I'm not saying the defense was good. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I keep getting all these people that are like, man, fire Wilkes. He needs to be gone. And I'm just like, man, Wilkes has had not even like he had a bad first half against the Rams, corrected everything, and we won the game because of the defensive adjustments. And then people are like, well, the last 2 games were terrible. You gave up 19 points and 22 points. Like, that's not 49ers defense standards. And I think a lot of it has to do with we've experienced some great 49ers defenses. We've been great for a long time defensively. And so this is the first kind of like whatever. You gave up 22 points. No team has scored over 23 against us. And that was the Rams' fake field goal at the end of the game. It's not like we're getting butchered or anything like that. Yards are terrible. And you made primetime Kirk Cousins look like a beast. Like, so like, hear me whenever I say, like, I'm not giving them a pass at all. But I don't understand why it's our defense is awful, fire our DC and all that stuff. And I'm just like, whoa, like, calm down. Like, I'm not to that point. Now, the Vikings are not a good football team. They've got 3 wins. Listen to the people that they have beat. The Chicago Bears, worst team in the NFL, in my opinion. Carolina Panthers, worst record in the NFL. And the 49ers. One of those things is not like the other. And I don't know, man. I'm tired of being the bounce back team. Back-to-back weeks now, right? Yeah, all the injuries, whatever that happened to the Browns didn't bother them. You know what I mean? And so I want to get off of, whatever that is about, trying to blame it on injuries or no. This football. You don't do that. That's not who you are. What's up, Grand? Grand A in the house. Love it, man. Appreciate all you guys coming in there. And I don't know. I think here we go, Sean. I appreciate this. He says, here's my thing. The defense did far worse than my expectations. Expectations are key. And I think that's a big reason. Sean always explaining things very, very well. Thank you. Compared to the expectations for the offense. But like, what happened to everybody talking about how, Brock Purdy's the system quarterback and you've got all these elite tools and whatever else? Like, what happened? I think we got to be critical of it all, is what I'm saying. And yeah, I don't think that the defense played up to our standards or their standards. And I mean, again, shout out to Juan Solis. He got a whole bunch of press clips, which is really, really cool. And I get that people are upset, but a lot of it's on the players, and it's a collective kind of whatever. But I don't know. This is a clip from Nick Bosa, and him and Fred Warner were talking after the game, and one of the reporters asked him, and here's what he said they were talking about.
Just kind of debriefing. Both of us had our moments and had some good drives, had some bad ones, had some missed tackles between me and him, and I think me and him try to take as much of the brunt of failure, being who we are and the leaders that we try to be. And, we were just kind of talking about that.
And so, like, if we look at it, like Fred Warner, he had another terrific game. I mean, and I understand that these are PFF grades and it's just a snapshot and whatever else. I get all those things. Fred Warner was, 11 points higher than any other player for the 49ers. He had an 85.4 grade. Talanoa was 2, Bosa 3. Oren Burks back in the spot that he does well in was 4th. Randy Gregory 5th. And so you had good play, but what's crazy to me is like Randy Gregory got 21 snaps. He got fewer snaps this week than he did last week. And he put on so much good tape. Cleveland Farrell got 40 snaps. He was our worst rated player. He had a bounce back game finally against the Browns. Dude was out there 40 snaps. 40 snaps. One pressure. Like, and I don't want this to be like a Cleveland Farrell whatever, but that wasn't good. Not good. Drake Jackson got 15 snaps, so we're getting him closer to where he should be. He was the third lowest. Kinlaw was second lowest. Drake Jackson third lowest. Drake Jackson's not good. Drake Jackson's not good. 0 stats across the board. No pressures, no tackles, no anything. 47.6 grade. That is 6 consecutive bad games for Drake Jackson. 6. But all you did was, you took all of Drake's snaps and gave them all to Cleveland Farrell, who was the worst defender we had out there. Well, it's from PFF. We'll see with the film. We're going to break down the film. So I don't know, man. I struggle with that. I get frustrated. The defense was bad, and everybody should be frustrated. Danson, what's up? She is incredible. Do you have concerns about Wilkes' ability to scheme the right defensive looks or make adjustments when the scheme isn't working? I feel like all anybody wants, I'm not saying this is you, but the narrative is being controlled by if we're not hitting the quarterback, we have a bad DC. And that is factually incorrect. Incorrect. And the scheme is all right. And everybody's like, oh, we're blitzing like crazy. We blitzed 9 times, which, yeah, the average is, I think, 11 a game across the NFL. We didn't even blitz we blitzed 9 times. They threw the ball 45. So it's not like we were blitzing a lot. We were doing some zone drops, but man, you got to win one-on-one matchups. And defensive line isn't as much about scheme. So it's not that issue. And I think that the adjustments were made. They scored 0 points. They scored 6 points in the second half. Like, and that's another thing. We turned the ball over twice in the second half, and it led to no points. Now, one of them was to expire the game, so you could throw that one away. But you gave up 6 points in the second half. Defensively, yeah, they had some long sustained drives, but I think the second halves we've done relatively well, and we've given the offense opportunities to win back-to-back weeks. The offense sees the day, against the Browns, but then the special teams missed. You see what I'm saying? This game, defense did everything they needed to do in the fourth quarter. 0 points. You knocked them out of field goal position twice with negative plays, and we got nothing. Well, we scored 3. But and so I have all the faith in Steve Wilkes. Do I think that he's better than D'Amico in his prime time? No. But it was like this every time. Whenever Saleh first stepped in, he had a long learning time. Whenever you look at D'Amico first stepped in, he was faster. He'd been with the system. Wilkes is new to the system. And I keep seeing people say things like, oh, he's got to be down on the field. You get him out of the booth. And I'm just like, man, you have never been on the sideline of a game before, because this is so typical. And they're like, oh, we need the energy and whatever else. Like, we have the energy from the position coaches. If you know Wilkes' personality, you don't want him to be something he's not. Wilkes isn't the fired up guy, and he never has been. He's not going to be now. Y'all remember the picture or the video clip where they're panning to him and everybody's celebrating after a pick 6, and he's just standing there like he's looking at a freaking, crossword puzzle. Like, what's him being fired up on the sideline? Like, if you need a cheerleader, that's not what it is. Wilkes is fine. That's not the issue. I really don't believe that. That's just my personal take, and I know a lot of people probably disagree. I mean, all the fire, whatever. We got to get away from that, man. We're 5-2. We're in first place of our division, and people are talking about firing people. We are not that organization. There has not been a DC that has been fired across the entire NFL right now. And you sure as hell aren't going to fire the guy that has the, let me check, third rated defense in the NFL. Come on. Come on. We're not those guys.
Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.